Hello, fellow travelers. This is Veronica from Human Design Journey. And I'm here today to talk about the transit field, the current transit, the weekly, monthly, even the yearly, since we are exactly at that point of the year where we're halfway through the last steps before the end of the 2022 Rave Year into 2023 Rave Year. And the 2023 Rave Year will actually come. So this is today on the 22nd of January, 9:38 a.m. and this is GMT, so locally it will be different. And it's quite something going on actually. So I thought, let me do the transits and look at them together. So today we're in the second line of the 61st gate, pressure in the head center, inner truth, the gate of mystery, natural brilliance, the moon exalted and so gifted by disposition of far-reaching and nourishing influence, free of guilt and powerfully attractive, a gift for inspiration that is both attractive and beneficial to others, and that in early recognition of its influence becomes ego-obsessed with maximizing its effects, a delusion that any inspiration deserves recognition. So this is part of the knowing stream, and it can be quite a melancholic energy. And as you see, we have also the 24th gate activated in the nodes. So it's actually going on for quite some time. Since now the nodes are in the third gate, the nodes go on the mandala wheel. They go together with it's clockwise, while the gates around the sun go counterclockwise. So the nodes together with the bigger bigger consciousness program day and the bigger cycles, they turn clockwise. So yeah, the nodes connect us to the stellar conditioning from all the stars. They're gates, they're portals actually, which connect us to the whole. So it's an interesting sun node connection and a channel, the channel of the knower. And the channel of the thinker, sorry, and also awareness. It's the gate of mystery, the gate of the inner truth, the awareness of universal underlying principles, occult knowledge, natural brilliance now in the second line, interdependence, tomorrow, research in the fourth line, influence in the fifth, and appeal in the sixth line. And it's part of those last steps, actually. Let's look again at the mandala, where the sun is at the end. So the last, all the planets and the whole wheel turned, and the sun is now in the 61st gate. So we have here the 4 gates, which are called the last steps to completion of the year: the 38th, the 54th, the 61st, and the 60th gate. And then we will have the 41st gate. The sun will enter the 41st gate. And as we saw here, this is where the new year begins, with the gate of decrease, which is the starting codon. So the last 4 steps before the year ends, actually, the sun entered the 38th gate exactly on the 31st of December 2022 in the morning, when everybody was preparing to celebrate the end of the year. Actually was the beginning of the end. The 38th gate is here in the root center. So it's adrenalized energy, individual, for finding meaning. For actually, this is the gate of the fighter, opposition, and it's the ability to persevere personal integrity through resistance to destructive forces. It opens the theme of the struggle and the meaning of this struggle. So the first step at the completion of the year, it's really a moment in which we would, as the light goes more scarce, and actually it's on the 21st of December that it changes. It's the shortest day, and the winter solstice, and it actually changes. And now, and you can really feel that energy too. The day starts to become bigger with a minute every day. But as the sun starts and the day starts to become smaller and smaller and smaller, all the way up to the 21st of December, it is as if we have to turn towards our inner light. The light outside becomes scarce in the northern hemisphere. And it's those romantic days in front of the fireplace, and usually in the north with a lot of snow and scarce daylight, being together with the people, with the family, or just spending more time with yourself and with your inner light. And in a way, this is also what those 4 steps are about. It's about looking at the end of the rave cycle, of the sun cycle. Here, opening the theme of the past year, like, were you fighting for the right things? Were those the right battles? Did they fulfill the meaning of your life? Because here we're talking about it's the part of the channel of the fighter, of struggle, part of the channel of struggle, and it's adrenalizing the fear of death, the fear of, was there meaning, and is there meaning in my battles? I'm ready to risk if it's the right battle. So it opened really a question of whether we're on the right track, because we are here to fight our battles and not to avoid those things which are for us. And this energy can be quite melancholic. It's individual energy, and it can be sad. There can be sadness, especially if you see that some of the battles you led, because it's all a duality, For sure, we fought battles which were important for us, but some of them wouldn't be. And there can be some sadness when you realize that, actually. So then we went to the 54th gate. You can see here on the 5th of January. And the 54th gate, excuse me, is the gate of ambition. So it's about the story about the concubine, which marries and becomes the empress. So it's the gate of ambition, the marrying maiden, and interaction in its mundane social context, but also one's mystical and cosmic relationships. Here we have in the fourth line enlightenment and darkment, which is the most mystical of all lines, and it's a tribal gate. The 54th gate is a tribal gate, and it's part of the stream of taste. Sorry. Part of the stream of instinct. Yeah. So it's being instinctual about how to actually climb the ladder of the material success. So this is also the gate of being pushed. It's not pushing upward, but pushed, because it's the fuel of the ego circuit with ambition, which is actually the fuel and the it's really adrenalized energy for transformation and change and growing, and it's connected to it's very sticky. It's a tribal energy. It's connected to support, uh, being ahead and moving on the material plane, and climbing the ladder of success. You need the support of the tribe, the support of the people around you. And only when you have the instincts to function on the everyday plane, transformation can occur. If we have an empty stomach, if we're hungry, it's, you see the 1949, we're going to talk about it, the 19th being the gate of the full fridge. But here we have the mirror on the other side, and it's still connected to advancement on the material plane. So this is why we have enlightenment and endarkment, because if you only master the material plane, can you transform and have time, energy, and resource to be spiritual, to be enlightened, while your stomach is empty and it is hurting from hunger? How can you be enlightened? Well, yeah, during those 40 days of uh, famine and taking a holy famine, like Jesus did in the desert, of course, everything you're going to start seeing. You're going to start seeing a lot of things from hunger. And then at some point, enlightenment can come or endarkment. It's a duality. And the 54th gate, it's relevant in everyday life, in the social context, but it's also in personal. It's the most mystical and cosmic relationships, which connect us in a tribal sense, also spiritually to our tribe. Here we have the theme of the support, the survival on the material plane, and the questions which arise here are: who are those people who supported me in the past year, who supported me in the material on the material plane for my advancement, helped me to rise and to be successful on the material path? Who are those people who supported me? Because I should not forget, that's a deal. We're in the tribal circuit, in the ego, in the instinct. So there is here always a contract deal. You do that, I do that. So I supported you to climb. You're here because of me and my support to you. Don't you ever forget that. And there'll be time when you have to repay me. And you should not forget your allies, because alone you cannot really advance. You need a tribe. So those are the questions which were the past week. Who supported me, who was beside me on the material plane. Actually, some of the people who were there might surprise you that they were actually there. So in this time of retrospection, it's quite interesting to realize some of the forces which were next to you. And now we're in the 61st gate. So the sun really opens the questions that will encourage us to look at the duality of the inner truth and self-consciousness about the unique inspiration that we have. It's still a tension. It's still fueling, and it's a pressure sandwich, we move from the adrenalized 3854 energy towards survival, focused on survival at the end, and the meaning of survival, the meaning of life, and the fear that there was no sense, the fear of death, and the fear of failure. And now we're in a totally different realm. It's again a pressure center, but it's the pressure to know, pointing at the gate of return. And that can also be quite melancholic, as I mentioned. It's being part of the individual circuit group. And here we have the tension to find resolution of the mystery of the individual. And here we have unique inspiration or self-consciousness, trying to find the absolute, the mystical, and the pulse of change. Questions that will pop up are: have we been truthful to our inner truth during the past year? What is our inner truth? And have we found the resolution and the awareness of our inner mystical processes, battles, provocations? Because we have the 38 ambitions It's all about being, in a way, resonant to your truthfulness, to your authenticity. Have you found your inner peace? Because the 61st gate is connected to the end to silence. Have you been satisfied with your inner process, with your inner truth? Have you been successful this year? Free? Did you feel peace? Did you get the surprises that you're here to get? What was your inner truth this year? Did you stick to it? What is your inner truth now? It's the 61st gate, the gate of mystery, realization of universal, deeply rooted principles. Yeah. So today we're at the second line of the 61st gate. So natural brilliance, as we already mentioned it. And of course, we have the 62nd gate on the other side, the opposition, Earth. So this is where we're grounded. This energy is being grounded, the gate of detail. And it's about preponderance of the small. Caution, patience, and detail produce excellence out of limitation. And we even have the gate of limitation already defined by Pluto for a very long time. But this will also be the last step in the process before the year finishes. And the fourth step, it's the most mutative. It's about the format, energy, which is the most melancholic. It's the gate of limitation. And the gate of acceptance, because the acceptance of limitation is the first step in transcendence. Acceptance, decisiveness, conservatism, resourcefulness, leadership, and rigidity. Laws, limitations, distractions, which at the end lead us to the core of this process, and that's accepting of the limitation, accepting of this process, and otherwise the energy is manifested as chronic depression. So quite some individual energy. So when the year, it's like every year I'm so surprised, and not anymore, of course, but still I remember I was thinking every time the new year came, like it was so slow, and I was thinking maybe we were so tired of the previous year, and actually no, it's just those are the last days of the reflective days of the past year, and they just bring a lot of melancholy, and they bring this energy of really turning yourself to your inner light and being a little bit melancholic before letting go of the old cycle. So the 60th gate is exactly that, letting go, looking back at the year, the way it passed, looking back at all those things which limited us, all those things we had to accept, all those things which were mutative, because this is also an adrenalized energy and actually pointing to the gate of beginnings. in the sacral center, which would be the life force energy, the sacral energy, which is the pure life energy. And it flows directly to starting new beginnings, new things. And the 60th gate, actually, what it does, it limits all these possibilities which are here in the third gate, the gate of ordering. So all this chaos which we have of possibilities, in order for one thing to pass, for mutation to happen, one thing out of this chaos has to emerge. So because it's one thing at a time, we're even programmed, the human beings, one neutrino at a time. So we take life one thing at a time. And this is what the 60th gate does. It limits us so we could choose one possibility to persevere, to pass through the difficulties at the beginning, give it life, and come to the 41st gate, the starting codon, where we start dreaming anew. And it's actually the gate of decrease, which is also connected to the gardener who is pruning his garden to prepare it for the time during the winter. So it maximizes the potential of that garden. So we take something so that the strength goes to the roots, and that in spring these root system can flourish again. And that's why the trees shed their leaves when there is a scarce light and it's not warm, to save energy. So its mutation and change is connected to limitation, accepting it, transcending, and starting anew with the starting codon, which is decrease, choosing one dream. Part of the 4130, the channel of oh, sorry, it went out of my mind. The channel of a focused design, a focused energy, and yeah. Okay, so hold on a second. Yeah, the channel of recognition, and it links basically the 41st gate to the gate of decrease, to the 30th gate of the clinging fire in the emotional center. And the 30th gate is the gate of the fates. So in order to dream, we have to focus on one thing, and then the fates decide it all. So this is where we will pass into the new year. And on the 22nd of January in the morning, we're going to be able to start dreaming again. And we will be dreaming again. Then we will go to the gate of needs. What do we need to get those dreams which were born here? And then the gate of the listener. So it's a very interesting 5 days when we can listen to what this year will bring, what will come, what will what will the direction be. And just those are days of the listener when we can hear things which can help us during the next year. And then we come into the gate of revolution, and so on. But we are right now exactly here in the 61st gate, second line. So we just came here, so we're in the middle of those 4 steps before the new beginning. And it's a time to reflect right now what is the inner truth, and in a few days over the whole year, and just letting go. So let me go back to the current moment, because it's all, we have the current moment, which is where the magic happens. This is where we are to be. We're meant to be in the current moment. And this is the current moment. We're here. So concerned about the inner truths and the details which we need in order to get to those inner truths, where we ground. And here we're in the second line, restraint, the innate restrictiveness and discipline to comply with and exalt restraint, the discipline necessary for detailed work. And on the other side, the intellect stymied by severe restraint tends to anxiety and restlessness, the expression of anxiety and restlessness when faced with detailed work. This is what can be felt, but it's just a passing energy. But this is where this inner truth is being grounded in the 62nd gate. So preponderance of the small, the gate of detail, saying I think. And so we can hear a lot of I thinks. I think. This is the inner truth. But we have an open throat, so not necessarily the possibility for the inner truth process here. And we have right now a defined head and ajna, so everybody is being pushed to be inspired or confused because the 61st gate, it's in the head. So it is about thinking, about realizing, being aware of the inner truth, but it is also not really a straightforward thing, because the inner truth can be very confusing, very mysterious, very esoteric, and you can lose track in the exoteric, in the reality, in the real world. And if you think about things that don't matter, this is where your energy is going to just disappear, because 70% of the people have an open head center, so they don't own their consistent thoughts, and right now they can feel quite the pressure to think. And are those really things which inspire you guys? That's the point. Is this really your inspiration? Or are you just thinking, and trying to strategize and to come up with resolutions, and coming over and over and over, the gate of return, realization. Now in the third line, the addict, the powerful attraction of regressive forms, the ultimate though difficult triumph over regression, the difficult but possible task of overcoming irrationality. And on the other hand, addiction and regression legitimized by success, irrationality maintained and legitimized by success. Yeah, we have actually on the other side coming to me the gate of alertness in the spleen center. So it's about well-being and instinct and success. So also there on the two sides of the mandala wheel, the 44th gate is on the opposite side of the 24th gate, so they're opposition. And we have here realization and fear, because it's part of the anxiety, fear of in the ajna center, and fear of not being able to understand that inner truth. On the other hand, we have here the fear of the past. So future and past, and at all times, because this is how the ajna center operates over all times. So there can be a lot of anxiety and fear of the past at this moment. And this is where the nodes are. So this is for a long time here. And in fact, I think it's here from October. Not October, but November. Yeah, now I remember. It's in November when they changed on the 27th of November. So for quite some time, we have those nodes. This is what's programming us from the outside the solar system. Those are the portals which connect us. And it's about instinct and realization. Knowing. It's the knowing stream and it's the instinct stream, the stream of instinct. And it will last until February. Yeah, 6th of February, they change into the 27th here and 28th, which is in the spleen center. So they will move to the gate of the 27th gate. It's the gate of caring. Yeah, the gate of caring, the gate of nourishment. All activities through caring. And on the other side, we have the fear of taking responsibility. And then the 28th gate in the spleen, it's the fear of death and that it didn't have a meaning, the gate of the game player, preponderance of the great. So as you see, it's quite a programming that we're getting, because this is how the planets are and they program us in a certain way that we are that we receive this. And if we don't stay centered in our via our strategy and authority, it's quite a movie that is being played on us. We can be living somebody else's life, guys. So stay tuned to your own path, to your own energy expression. And that can only be done when you stay tuned to yourself, to your own strategy and authority, and they tune you to life, your life, not somebody else's life. And if we look at the 44th gate, it's in the third line, interference, the failure to interact based on circumstances, the ability to recognize the threat of interference, and to prepare for its effects, the alertness and instinct to handle the ego of others, or a diluted response to interference that gets stuck in projection and as a result is unrealistic, in appraisal, and error prone. The possibility that the instinct cannot handle the ego of others. So this will go on until the 6th of February. And yeah, we have the moon in the 6th gate right now, so this will move in a few hours. It's now in the gate of conflict, the gate of friction, 4th line, triumph, a position of natural and unchallengeable power. Then we have Mercury in the 38th gate, opposition, the gate of the fighter, 2nd line, politeness, opposition that does not transgress normal codes of behavior. This is what we're trying to communicate, and those will be the conversations around. If you look at the news, you will see that then the values in sacrifice, the gate of wanting, the need to limit personal potential in order to achieve a larger goal. And all these will be played out. The 16th gate, enthusiasm, 3rd line, independence, self-generating and sustaining enthusiasm. Those are the slower moving planets. So they will be over the course of more time. We see here also till the 5th of February, until the whole channel of the gate of crisis and the gate of change will bring the whole channel of transitoriness. But till then, Mars will be in the 16th gate. So this is energy, dynamic, enthusiasm. Mars is quite an immature energy. So there will be independence, self-generating and sustaining enthusiasm. The child whose overconfidence may lead to frustration and the ensuing dependence on others to regenerate enthusiasm. Excuse me. So then we have the 25th gate, Jupiter, law and protection, innocence, the gate of spirit of the self, in recuperation, the 5th line. When innocence is sapped of its vitality, healing is the first priority. Hypochondria and the need to be healed by others, the weakness of the spirit which requires healing from others. I wonder what's going to happen for the next week. And as we can see, excuse me, the 25th gate, just a second. Oh, yeah. 25th gate, then it will stay, yeah, till the 19th. Then we have, oh, but finally Saturn will move to the 30th gate. It was there for quite some time. In attraction, stubborn and often fatal rejectionism, oversensitivity that leads to rejection of principles and others as a rule. The power of revolution in action to expand its support. The gate of principles. So right now we have the channel, a design of being sensitive. So here we talk about it's also tribal energy, and this is gonna be also a channel in the new year. You can see here the new year. This is on the 22nd of January 2023, the 41st gate. The sun entered the 41st gate, putting the beginning of the new year, the new rave cycle. Yeah. So, and the 31st gate, in detriment, influence cannot exist in a vacuum manifestation. The absorption of light that in darkness can only promise manifestation, the unnatural expression of leadership. So the whole 2023, because this is the design of the year, will be colored and with this energy. So this is a adrenalized emotional energy with 2 channels. It's a projector year, so there will be possibility for recognition and getting to find out a lot of things. And it can be also a year with a lot of bitterness and not feeling recognized, no recognition. It will be connected to needs and how to survive, being sensitive, part of the basically stream of sensitivity, and also part of the stream of feeling with the contraction and change and feeling, and on the other hand support and rejection. So it will be a very intense, emotionally intense year, and with crisis, darkening of the light, limitation where Pluto is, plus darkening of the light is in Neptune. So we don't really know what's going on, and we will only find out when it moves. And it will move in basically the 60th gate and 36th. So Pluto and Neptune, they will move from the 60th and the 36th gate only in year 2025. Right, I think here in April. Nope, March. Oh, so it's maybe 2024. Yep, April 2024. There'll be big change, since Pluto and Neptune are very slow-moving planets, and it will start a new era. Pluto is actually for 285 years, I think, and Neptune 170 something years. So we will never experience in our life, we will never find out about Pluto, because we will never experience in a lifetime the whole planet. There'll be no Pluto return, there'll be no Neptune return. So it will be quite a change, and this actually starts the new cycle of 2027. We know that there is a new global cycle change, which moves us from the cross of the planning into the new cross of the sleeping phoenix, which will rule the world for another 400 years. And we're right at this change, right at the verge of this change. So it's very special times, guys. We're here to witness. Special, interesting, once in a lifetime, actually once in every 400 years event. marking a new era for humankind and a new era for a new species coming out of us, the raves, which actually we are in their bodies, or they will have similar, they come from us. They will have our bodies, but they will use to the full potential these bodies. We know that from science that we don't use the full potential of our brains. And they will. So very exciting times. The old order is collapsing and something new will be born. And we're all part of it with our energy. Because being here in form is an expression of our uniqueness, differentiation, and our own vibration, which adds to the celestial orchestra of the whole. We live in the illusion of separateness. We're one, but we all have different vibration. We add to the whole picture, to the whole orchestra, to the whole celestial sound and waves. We bring our own energy to the whole, and we're all connected. And we are here to share this experience, to share all of this. And this is actually what the program does, if we think about it. The program, by programming us with the transits, with the neutrino field, one neutrino at a time, is actually connecting us to the whole, to the oneness. And we all get to experience this energy, to take it in and not get stuck with it, but let it go. Take the information, eventually expand our consciousness or not, if there is nothing for us in that. It's only up to our strategy and authority, our own life, our own movie, whether there is something in the transit field for us is only up to us. So yeah, for quite a long time we had the Uranus, the unusualness, chaos, and innovation in the second gate, the receptive, the gate of direction of the self. So we are getting a new direction here. And Uranus yeah, also stays for a very long time. Hold on. Okay. So we will have Uranus move maybe it was 24. No. Yeah, it will move in May. Yeah, sorry, I didn't check that, but yes, May. So it will move in May in the 23rd gate, which will be interesting. The gate of amorality and accepting the different, the freak. But till then, we will stay in the second gate. Now in the second line we are in, and it's retrograde. So it's a chance for us to look at in genius, unconscious and unlearnable alignment of stimulus and response, the natural, the inner strength to focus and realize, a natural gift for unlearnable knowing. The genius is madness, knowledge exclusively as power for the enhancement of the ego, the delusion that knowledge is power. So it's in retrograde, so direction and the inner knowing of what the direction is under scrutiny, or let's put it, let's say, when planets are in retrograde, basically it's a time for reflection. So there is a reflection on what is the correct geometry, the correct direction for us can be found here or not. But this is what's going on in the daily transits, and as I mentioned also for the next week or so. And don't put the beginning before the end. We still have some time to go until the 22nd of January. So we have here today, we have an emotional projector day, which already shows partially what the year is going to be, because this is what the year is going to be on the 22nd of January 2023. There is a lot of adrenalized energy, tribal energy, adrenalizing emotions, and adrenalized energy also coming. It's two channels, so these will be collective sharing energy, so sharing dreams and different desires, and basically it's the limitation of resources which maximizes the development of the potential. But on the other hand, we have the fates. So this is the 30th gate, the gate of the clinging fire, and the gate of recognition of feeling, freedom recognized as an illusion and limitation accepted as fate. And we have composure, the first line, second, pragmatism, third, resignation, four, burnout, five, irony, and six, enforcement. So the design of focused energy, it's actually the channel of recognition is actually the dreamer's channel, is the channel of the is the pressure for coming from the root, the pressure of decrease, a lack, and that lack gives rise to the imagination of what could be. Is the emotional center that heats up the pressure, and that fuel, and the result is intense need to get in motion towards some experience. This is what we have. And we have basically the stream of feeling here. Feeling, and almost all of it. Actually, we will have all of it pretty soon. So, ooh la la, what's going to happen? We don't know. But if we look here, the 35th gate is coming. We just saw it actually. Yeah. I don't see it right now. But the 35th gate was coming. Da, 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 da. Which will give the whole channel of transitoriness. Yeah, I don't see it right now. Where it comes. Yeah. So This is for the new year, as I said. So we have here a strong pressure being recognized by intense feeling. This ultimately leads to the ability to leap from lack of experience into experience running full bore. And of course, it wants to share all of that with others. So this can launch some pretty wild rides in experience and on occasion some deep reflection after the fact. With all of this, the channel of recognition that the new experience allows to recognize an emotion which can be shared. And this can bring a lot of crisis, of course, on the way. But the relationship of the root center and the emotional system represents some aspects of our spirituality. Here we have the 1949, which is the tribal, the laws of the tribe, and the monotheistic gods. It's part of the mystical stream. Pam, 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 pam. And we also have here the individuality. So the language of spirituality, the songs, the chants, the praise, the liturgy. But we also have the 41st 30, which is the universal forces that are recognized differently amongst different tribes. So it gives some insight into the frequencies of each circuit here. And we have two circuits, the tribal and the collective. So we will want to share our crisis and our recognitions and pressure to dream and to intensely feel and to experience and share that experience. And this tribal energy of the needs and the rejection here. So it's also going to be quite intense because we have it's about being sensitive to the needs of the tribe. And it links the root center for the 9th gate of approach to the 49th, the gate of revolution in the emotional center. So it's the realm of belonging. It's the ego, if we separate it into communism and on this side and capitalism on that side. So this is the communist part. It's belonging, it's about tribal stickiness, but it's about what money cannot buy. It's basically the sense of touch bringing people together, deciding who's in, who's out, and who gets what. And it's also very sensitive to its own position, wanting to be needed and to give support and needing to be wanted, to be supported. When we look at the channel from this perspective, and remember that it is a projected channel, actually both are, we see that waiting to be invited is the crucial first step. And the emotional response over time of being invited is critical to the happiness in general. This is about the pressure of the 19th to be connected can draw into association that are joyful if and that needs which are fulfilled, but when you have emotional clarity, and the absence of it can wind up relationships that are characterized by constant rejection of self and others. So if we compare it to today, we have half of this energy going on. So, and in a very few days, this is what we're going to enter. So, this is what is going on right now. And this shall also pass. So, the best umbrella we can bring with us for that rain is our strategy and authority. To center ourselves in who we are and know how to operate in the world, whether by waiting to respond or waiting for to be recognized and get an invitation, or waiting for clarity and emotional stability before taking decision or seeing whether something is for you or not, and all the other authorities that we can have in order to get to a place of peace, a place of satisfaction, a place of success, of surprise and lightness, to discover our differentiated self, our differentiated being, vibration, geometry. Meet the people and the forces we're supposed to meet on our fractal. And live nothing less but the life which was meant for us. Live nothing less but us as we were meant to be, as we were born to be. Be that me and nobody else, so that you bring your own uniqueness to the table of abundance of life. This is Veronica from Human Design Journey. It was a great privilege to be with you for the past year, and I would be happy to share with you also next year. Happy new coming of 2023. It will be an emotional roller coaster ride. Be prepared. You have everything you need to go through this. We have that, guys. See you soon. Bye for now.